Welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'll be talking about the biggest possible matchup you can make in the UFC in 2025. So, what's the biggest matchup you can make? So, Cejudo recently, I guess on the Pound for Pound podcast or on that YouTube channel somewhere, said that he thinks the biggest matchup that you can make in 2025 is Islam Makhachev versus Ilia Topuria. So, you got the lightweight champion Islam Makhachev, in my opinion, now the lightweight GOAT. Especially, if he gets one more defense, that'll make it even more clear that he's the lightweight GOAT with 4 consecutive title defenses, more than anyone has, and has 4 better competition overall than anyone has at lightweight history. So that will put Islam clearly at #1 best lightweight of all time. Topuria is far from the best featherweight of all time as far as his resume goes. He just got the belt, but he's doing amazing things so far since winning the belt and defending it once. But yeah, that's a big matchup though. Islam has a lot at stake. He's been on top. He needs a new matchup, some fresh blood, something entertaining. Topuria is that fresh blood for him, or that new look. Because I feel like at lightweight, there's really not a whole lot interesting around him. I feel like it's just keep rewatching the same exact fighters. But yeah, Topuria is a fresh matchup, and he has a lot behind him, and he's climbing up the pound rank. So that will again be, a big pound matchup. But do I think that's the biggest fight of the year potentially? I don't think so. I know in Cejudo's mind, he think, oh, this a matchup really could determine shake up the pound for pound rankings and stuff. And you got a champion versus champion. And Islam is the pound for pound #1, and if Topuria beats him, he's the pound for pound #1. And if Islam beats Topuria, his resume is only that so much better. But as far as the entertainment value of it and really what the fans gonna see about it, I don't think that's really the biggest matchup. I can see as far as what's at stake. Both of them really have stuff at stake versus other matchups. The other guy might not have as much at stake, but as far as potential matchups where both guys have stuff at stake and are both in positions of power, real power, yes, in that sense. But in the real sense of it, what fight's going to sell the most pay-per-views? Which fight's going to get the most people talking before, during, and after the fight? It's not the biggest fight by no means. I don't think it's. I think it's #4. If they do it right, it could be a huge fight. But again, everything gotta be done right. But there's other fights where you just gotta let the fight happen, and it's gonna be huge. Matter of fact, the fights that aren't even scheduled yet, but people are already talking about it day and night and day and night and day and night. And that matchup is not Islam Makhachev versus Ilia Topuria. Again, it's high on the list of potential fights that could be the biggest fights of 2025 if it is scheduled. It's definitely on the list. Another thing you gotta think about that matchup as well is that yes, Ilia has done amazing things in 2024, but he only has one defense, and Makhachev has a defense at the beginning of the year in 2025 schedule. He got to get past that first. And, he probably going to fight 2 times a year. So Makhachev only going to have one more matchup probably left for that year after getting that first matchup, if he does win that fight out the way. And Ilya still has 2 very viable contenders that he has to deal with. I know he wants to jump up, but I think the UFC is going to deny that, make him at least fight one more time. So that matchup probably not going to happen in 2025, even if they both wanted it to happen. Because the UFC now we need Ilya to get more defenses. And we want to maximize how much money we can make off him and all that other stuff. We got Evroyev, who's undefeated when that matchup happened. And you got Lopes, who's been putting on great work. So get both those guys out the way. Clear out your division for real. And then go up. And yeah, we could have 2 big pay-per-views with you. Maybe have the Evroyev fight be in Spain or something. And that'd be a huge fight. And then we could have Islam Makhachev just add to his resume. Just add more defenses. And then have a big matchup in 2026. That would probably make more sense. So I think that one will get vetoed anyway. But yeah, I'm not going to beat around the bush and try to say all these other matchups. The fight that I think is the biggest matchup you could make in 2025, or really anytime recent, whether it would have been this year, 2025, or 2026, the biggest matchup you can make is by far Jon Jones versus Tom Aspinall. People been talking about the fight. People want Jon Jones to lose so bad. They want the fight to happen so much that they think Tom Aspinall is so clearly going to beat Jon Jones. And, they got everything that they want to say about Jon Jones. So people clearly want Tom Aspinall to win. Really not even just really for Tom Aspinall. They want Tom Aspinall to win. They want Jon Jones to lose more so than anything. And they see, this is a big young heavyweight. He's got striking. He got the look. He got the grappling. And Jon Jones is at the end of his rope right now. And Tom Aspinall should destroy him. And Jon Jones is definitely not helping the hate because he's ducking. He's fully planning to the duck roll. So that's getting attention. So John Jones, you know, getting injured and dragging the fight along because he had to fight Stipe and whatnot, and then beating Stipe, and then still something like, I'm not gonna give him this, and saying like, yeah, I'm ducking, whatever, who cares? So he's doing all the things. So whether he's doing it purposely or not purposely, he's making the fight more entertaining and only making his haters more hungry to see him lose. The issue more so is maybe those haters aren't going to spend money. A lot of times these haters be saying they want this matchup, and they don't want this and that and that. They be very demanding, but they on there illegally streaming stuff. So despite all the stuff, like the actual eyes on it, it's going to be more eyes than probably any fight in the last 6 years in MMA. Like any fights in the last 6 years in MMA. Because people probably be like illegally streaming because they don't want no money to go John Jones. They don't want no money to go to Dana White. But I still think it sells a lot. It's not probably not going to sell no McGregor numbers, but I think it could break 1 million buys. Again, real viewers probably be like 10, 20, 30, 40 million people watching the fight. Actual buys probably like, I'm going to say 40 million. That's crazy. But actual buys probably like 1 million. So still do phenomenal. Probably be John Jones' most sold pay-per-view in history. It'd be a sold-out event. And a lot of pay-per-view buys, but obviously not as many as they can because, again, a lot of people wanting this fight are haters of John Jones. They see Aspinall as a guy that can get the job done for real and get him out of there, and probably in brutal fashion they're hoping. But yeah, it's a good fight, and that's like, it's big stakes as well in that one. Not, necessarily as big of stakes as, what's bigger stakes? John Jones' legacy is bigger than Ilya's and Makhachev's and Khabib's and all of them combined if we've been honest. Like, that's not even glazed. This is the truth. John Jones has more defenses, has broken way more records and all that stuff. So if Aspinall could put a stain on his record, that's bigger than all that stuff. So Ilya's just came around last weekend, and it's Makhachev, who's been here for like a week, versus John Jones, who has been here for years. Putting that online against a guy who really narratively should beat him, like a guy who's right smack in his prime, naturally bigger than him, has the box skills. And John Jones has historically had issues with good boxing, and Aspinall is supposed to be a good boxer. Then on top of that, he's not just a striker. He has the solid BJJ as well. We don't know where his wrestling defense is fully at, and that's another part of what has caused John Jones issues. Guys that have shown good takedown defense and has shown good ability to get back to their feet, like Reyes and Gustafsson. And also they had another thing that we don't know about Aspinall. Does he have the volume of those guys? Is he necessarily is fast overall? Probably not. But volume, probably not. But he is bigger than them. He is much younger than him. He's much younger than John Jones. So that's a matchup that a lot of people tune out. And I want John Jones to walk away. He has nothing to prove. But by all means, I'm gonna tell you this: I will watch that fight. I will want John Jones to win. I will want John Jones to shut you guys up, big time. Shut up all these idiot YouTubers that don't know what they talking about. They just started watching MMA because of Conor McGregor and whatnot, and don't know what they talking about. Shut those people up. Get Aspinall out of there, then walk off. But yeah, at the end of the day, he already won. But again, I would be there. I'm not gonna say I'd be at the event, but I would definitely pay for the pay-per-view. Pay for it twice, pay for it thrice, if I had to. They said that pay-per-view was $200. I would pay for it. That'd be the one pay-per-view I would pay $200 for. So yeah, if it does happen, I would definitely pay there, and I pay to see that fight, and again, pay for it 3 times over to see that fight. So by all means, that's the biggest fight you could make. While John Jones is still active. Then I think even a bigger matchup. Then that's not even one of the ones that a lot of people are gonna agree on, but they for sure probably gonna tune in more and talk about more. It's going to be John Jones versus Pereira if that fight was scheduled. That's another big fight. I think both of those fights are bigger than Islam Makhachev versus Ilia Topuria. Because let me just say this right here. Let me look in the camera. Islam, 2 years ago? Matter of fact, this was in 2 years ago. It was not 2 years ago, but last year. But roughly 2 years ago now, because we about to transition into 2025. But anyway, in 2023, Islam Makhachev had 2 matchups, 2 pound-for-pound matchups for the number 1 spot with Volkanovski. The build-up was weak. The fight was good, but people talked about it after it was over for a little bit. But reality, do we really care about that match? I don't care. Let me say it first. I look in the camera. I really don't care about that match. I watched it. It was a good matchup. The first one, the second fight, not so much. First matchup was a good back and forth matchup. I probably watched like 2 or 3 times. Don't care to ever watch it again. Don't care to ever really talk about it again. And that was a pound for pound matchup. Volkanovski was, by a lot of people, by a lot of casuals, considered the greatest featherweight of all time, like newbies. We all know that Aldo's still the greatest featherweight of all time, but a lot of newbies were considering Volkanovski the greatest featherweight of all time, and a lot of newbie it's not even cat. It's a good take to say that Islam was at that point still top 2 or top 3, at least top 5 lightweights of all time, and now beating Volkanovski twice, he's the greatest greatest lightweight of all time. But yeah, that was a matchup where pound for pound was on line, and realistically, both fights nobody really cared about. You know, some like real fans, I cared about the matchup. It would not, but I cared about it for the again. Do you care about the matchup for the matchup itself, or do you care about it for the being, I guess, a purist of the sport? Like you're a true fan of the sport. Like as a true fan of the sport, I care for. But as far as like a really truly care for the matchup, or was so enamored by what I saw in that fight or what happened and transpired by the matchup, nah, I wasn't. It happened. It's over. It's an important part of history. But as far as entertainment value, interest, it wasn't there. As far as me, even a purist or a true lover of MMA, a fan of it, it wasn't there. So especially for the casuals and the people that like the match really didn't do nothing. So I feel like Ilya Topuria versus Islam could do the same thing. But except the thing is, Ilya is a fresh young face, knockout power in his prime, or hasn't even hit his peak yet. So that matchup is a lot more interesting than the Volkanovski fight. But I feel like right now it hasn't reached its peak interest, and I feel like it very much can reach its peak interest. It's not like a case like, oh, this guy's at the end of his rope and this guy's here, so we got to have this matchup now. I feel like both of them have a lot more to build onto, and then you can make that matchup and it'll be as big as it could be. And again, like 2026, I think the perfect time to have that matchup. 2026, or yeah, in my opinion. 2025, I think a little bit too soon, but 2026, again, Topuria might be able to get 2 more defenses, have 3 defenses. Makhachev probably gonna get like 1 more defense. He could get 2, and then have 5 defenses. So 5 defenses versus 3, and that'd be a big matchup. And then by the point, Ilya has fully asserted himself to probably, well, I'm not saying. I think he'll jump over Max Holloway in the featherweight. If he gets 3 defenses, I think he jumps over Max Holloway. So he'll probably be right behind Volkanovski, maybe right behind Volk, maybe above Volk. But either way, he'll be smack dab right there with the best of them in featherweight history, in a very good spot. Then, and also very good spot on the GOAT list. And then if he beats Makhachev, he could jump right into that top 15, top 10 if he beats Makhachev. Or Makhachev could truly jump, like settle himself in the top 10, maybe top 5 of the greatest of all time. So that will be a bigger match. Right now, I feel like it's a little bit too soon for both guys. More so Ilya. But again, the matchup that you'll be interested in is an MMA fan, interested in is a non-casual, interested is a casual. Like everyone that will be interested, like everyone will be interested in, whether they're paying or not paying, like truly interested, talking about it before the fight, during the fight, and after the fight for years to come, will be John Jones versus Tom Aspinall if that fight ever happens. And that's not even an opinion, that's the fact. So do you guys disagree, agree, or not disagree? Whatever y'all say. Do y'all agree, disagree, agree to disagree? Let me know in the comment section below. But that's been my thoughts on the biggest fight you can make in 2025 in the UFC. And that's been the video. Peace out, y'all.